So I'm up here working, doing what I need to do, and check this out. They cut a hole with a torch into a structural beam. I can't believe that. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
This video is brought to you by Sporlan, quality, integrity, and tradition.
Well, today we've got a walk-in cooler that's not working properly. The evaporator section is running, the fan motors are running, and the box is like 55 degrees. So up here on the roof at the condensing unit, nothing's running. We're gonna go ahead and open this guy up and check out the electrical section. All right, so condensing unit, the first thing I wanna do is, we're gonna check voltage obviously, but I'm gonna do a couple visual checks of everything. Compressor is not too hot. We're gonna spin the yeah. Got a locked up fan motor for sure. Let's check. What are the odds they have two locked up fan motors? Well, then we can probably just jump right over to this high pressure control. It's a manual reset right here. Push it. There you go. Two bad condenser fan motors. This one tried to turn. They're both trying to turn. So we got two bad condenser fan motors. They're locked up. So let's go ahead and turn off the disconnect switch. Here's our evap. Everything here is going to need to be cleaned because this thing's nasty. Nasty dirty. But we'll get those fan motors changed out and then see what we can figure out. See if there's anything else going on. Not that I need to do this, but just to be 100% sure. 208 volt to the left motor. And there's the right motor. So definitely two bad motors. It looks like we changed the right one in 12 and then changed both of them in 05 with my notes. So anyways, we'll get it changed out. Try to make this as easy as possible. Take off as many panels as I can. Watch out, because sometimes these fan motors will be, the blades will be broken or cracked, so gotta watch for that. Little 5/16 ratchet wrench saves the day. All right, here we go. Well, that's why you gotta test fire things and make sure there's nothing hitting, so I'll have to zip tie that up, but we know they work now. Much better. So we're already running a clear sight glass. We're gonna go ahead and put some service gauges on it and watch the unit come down in temp, and I'll start putting the panels back together and stuff. All right, this is an R22 system. Pressures look half-assed decent. The box is about 50 degrees, so saturation temperatures, yeah, 37, 40, 36, right in there. That's not too unheard of. It's about 97 degrees outside. Both of those motors are spinning the correct rotation. It's just the camera shutter speed. It's about 96 degrees. Yeah, everything's looking good. I'm gonna watch a sizable temperature difference. We got a cool suction line coming back, hot discharge line coming out. Compressor's not overheating. The time clock time was off, so I set it for the correct time. We are gonna be coming back. I'm gonna have another technician clean the condenser and clean the evaporator, and I'll have him verify that the time clock has the right time on it when he comes back. So it's cooling down in here. It's probably, I don't know, in the low 50s now, but it was damn near 60 degrees when I got here. So it's coming down. I told them it's gonna be a long time. I wanna clean this evaporator, but I need this box temp to come down, and to properly clean it's gonna take me another hour or two. We're not gonna do that right now. I'm confident that the box is gonna work, and we'll come back next week and I'll have someone else, one of my guys, come out here and clean this thing thoroughly and then clean the condenser also.
All right, need to clarify and give some context here. The video first off started about, I think, September of 2020. And when I sent my service technician back out to clean the evaporator and condenser and everything, the evaporator was really rotted out. So we brought that up to the customer, disintegrating with the age of all the equipment and everything, and they opted to go ahead and replace the equipment. So let's get on to the next part.
So we're doing a walk-in cooler replacement today. I've got the crane just getting here right now. What we do is we come up here and we pump the unit down at the receiver and then we'll recover it on the ground. We do that just to save time because we like to get the crane out of here as soon as possible, stay out of the way. So this guy's pumped down, power's turned off, disconnected. I've got guys working on the evaporator right now, and we try to be as efficient as possible. So the crane is gonna bring a unit up, and then we're gonna take a unit down, and we're gonna get him out of here. Everybody's safe, staying out from under the load. And that's it. All right, the evaporator's out of the way. We're gonna redo electrical and all that stuff with the new evap. It's probably gonna fit right in about the same spot more than likely. It's not too bad of an attic. I can get over here, so we're gonna go right in this area right here. We got our old bolts and everything. We're just cutting out the old line set at the moment. So I'm up here working, doing what I need to do, and check this out. They cut a hole with a torch into a structural beam. I can't believe that. I don't think you're supposed to do that. This one's not going as smooth as I want it to. So they have these penetrations and they're really nice, but down in here, it was all sealed off, so the holes were perfect for the old lines and stuff. So I had to get in there with the with the Sawzall, cut open a hole, and I'll clean it up a little bit more because I got to go down below. So my line set's going to be coming up. I open this section up right here. It'll 90 over, down, and then go in. And then electrical is going to connect into this box, come out, flex, and we're going to mount a disconnect switch right here. So we're running into problems with the drain and the coil too. Usually these things are cookie cutter, but this one's being a pain. They're like back and forth, back and forth. So I was able to come down here, cut it a little bit cleaner. So my line set's going to come up, hit the top of the box right here, run over. We've got a penetration drilled right there. We've got our coil. I just tightened up the coil bolts too. I need to figure out little rubber things to protect us from getting our knees broken. We've got a new power run right here. We'll secure this box down in a little while. They had MC running in there. So we're just about ready to run the line set. We're working on the drain line right now. So this new coil has, the drain is taller. So we weren't able to use the drain. So we're having to run a new drain line completely all the way outside the box. And then we're gonna penetrate the box over here, and we found a floor drain way down here. So it used to pipe in with all the other walk-ins, but it was gonna be a nightmare to have to lower the drain and stuff, because the new coil is about 2.5 inches taller, so the drain was too low now. So it's not gonna be perfect, but I got the line set somewhat ran. It's going into the walk-in box. We got extra soft up here. I'm gonna work my magic with the benders. What I ended up doing was capping off this end. Always save these caps if you ever get them from line sets. Capping off that end, and I'm gonna cut the insulation way down here, pull all the insulation off. We're gonna do the bend there, there, and there, and it's not gonna be perfect, trust me. And then we will get everything going. Well, it's not too bad. Bent it here, it's nice and good. Here, here, and then we'll go into the suction line. So I just use this yellow jacket ratchet bender with the reverse bender attachment, go back and forth between the reverse bender and the non, but it turns out pretty good. For the 3/8 I just use a normal hand lever style bender. So. All right, so what I usually do, because I've got the insulation pulled back up top, is I do everything with the last braze joint, and then I'm gonna slide the insulation on, pull it back, do the braze joint, go to town. So that's the last one we gotta do. So you can see I was purging with nitrogen, so the lines are completely clear, yet we got a solid cupping action going on right there. So we're gonna push this guy on, the insulation's being held back by that guy, and then we're done down here. Getting ready to braze these two guys right here. Yeah, and then we're good. And we only have to pull a vacuum on the line set because the unit comes pre-charged with 448A, so it'll be a quick vacuum. Everything's looking good so far. Gonna do a pressure test real quick. To about 150 psi. Looks like I overshot it a little bit, but it'll be okay. You typically don't want to go over the test pressure of the evaporator because we're testing, but we're gonna let it stabilize out and then test everything. So there's a leak. My pressure is dropping, and I come up here, and this is a factory braze joint right here. They stub it out to here. Bastards. It's all good. They charge all this stupid money for this piece of junk equipment with these crappy ass valves and all this junk. And then they finally got rid of those Sanhua valves though, and they went to Emerson valves, but still junk. Man, this irritates me. From the factory, you know? How crappy is that? Alright, I'm thinking I should send that to the factory and tell them that's what a braze joint looks like. Put some solder on there, stop skimping, dumbasses. We're gonna do another pressure test, make sure there's no other leaks, but we're good to go for now. Alright, we're looking good now. It's been running longer than 3 minutes. 0.4, nothing. So before it was just pissing out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do an evacuation now. I think we're gonna be good. So my evacuation's at about 400 microns right now. We're gonna go ahead and do the decay test, and then we should be good to go. And according to the blue vac, I'm past my decay test, but I'm still gonna let it sit a little bit longer. I realized someone told me that they have, I don't know if this is true, but there's an algorithm in there, because even though it takes a short amount of time, it still pays attention to the amount of rise and does some math to calculate that it's gonna pass or not. I don't know if that's true. I'd be kind of curious. I guess I should probably read the instructions. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and gauge up on this guy now. Just started the system up. The compressor sounds good. The phase rotation's correct. We're building up head pressure. Condenser fan motor should turn on any second. There we go, fan cycling. And we're gonna let the unit operate, stabilize out. Make sure we have a clear sight glass. Like I said, these units are pre-charged, so all I really had to do was open up these valves and the receiver valve. But whenever you do these startups, you always wanna make sure there's no other valves. Like on the Heatcraft units, there's like a discharge service valve so you can isolate the compressor. Those things, I find them like in the mid position, so you always want to check on your commissioning to make sure. I do like the fact that they have big stickers that say 448A, and then they also label the factory charge. That is nice. So, all right, well, so far so good. Uh-oh, I think I got it. All right, we're kind of just waiting for this thing to come down to temp. The box temp's pretty high, so we're probably going to come back on another day and check evaporator superheat after everything's stabilized out. Wow, I think I really do have it. Up here looks good. Line set's nice and safe. I do need to tape this liquid line up because it's flowing freely right now, so we'll definitely tape that up. It's at 42, so we're doing good. Everything looks fine over in there. Drain line looks good. We're foamed up, all the holes. We just have that reflective metal tape that looks like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but it looks like the cooler texture. See, it's like the texture of the coolers. I like that stuff because it fades with the cooler. So we got a power switch right here. Like I said, we'll be back and we'll check on everything. But yeah, looking good so far. I do need to set this guy for defrost now because I don't think it was set up automatically. So I think if you hold this button, enter, there you go. So 35 degrees is our box temp. Differentials 4, I'm good with that. Compressor starts per hour should be off, that's good. Defrost per day should be 4, I'm good with that. Defrost time, 30 minutes. No, we don't need no 30-minute defrost. We'll do 20. That guy, there we go. Everything else is just alarms and I don't care about it, so we're good to go on that. So this guy shuts down the liquid line solenoid valve and powers everything down. And yeah, we're good to go for now. And we took, so the old drain used to stick out right there and connect to the other walk-in boxes. And because they're all interconnected, we put a union on it so that way we could pull it off in case we ever needed to blow it out. Because we didn't go into the other box and rip it all out, all the old stuff. So, but yeah, we totally new one, so they're good to go. All right, we're back to do our follow-up today. Box is down to temperature. Notice the fan motors are spinning slow. That's because it's satisfied. They're 2-speed motors. So I've got my my probes hooked up here. We're gonna go onto the roof and get all the pressures up there, and everything will wirelessly connect up. So, all right, we're up on the roof. Everything looks good. Install's nice and clean. You know, as good as it can be. Got all my probes on the system. We're profiled on Measure Quick, so I am using the Measure Quick app, and I basically input all my targets that I want. Box temperature, tonnage really doesn't matter. It's a 1.5 though, 1.5. Actually, it's a little bit less than that, but yeah, that doesn't really matter too much. We are fan cycling again. Everything's there. So we're just waiting for the system to cycle on so we can check evaporator superheat and just monitor how the system's going. Now I do have a subcooling measurement clamp on there, a liquid line clamp. I'm just curious. It's not really going to do anything for me, but it's good to have the information so we can benchmark it and say, hey, on startup, this system was running at this. Because we have a receiver, we charge to a clear sight glass, but subcooling still is something we pay attention to. We just don't necessarily charge by subcooling on systems with receivers. So again, we're just waiting for the box to, let's see what my temperatures are inside this space. Looks like it is 39 degrees, so it should be turning on any moment now, because it's set, I believe, 35 with a 4-degree differential, so it'll probably turn on at the tail end of 39, right at 40 would be my guess. Okay, so we turned on, and it's a fan cycle system. There's no head pressure control valve, so the fan's not on until our head pressure gets high enough. It's probably going to be doing around 250 would be my guess. We'll see here. Yeah, about 240. So we'll see what happens. We'll let it run for a minute, and then we're going to monitor the, and so it did turn on right at 40. We're going to monitor the superheat and see where it's at. We're typically on these systems, we're looking somewhere between 8 to 12 degrees evaporator superheat. So right now we're looking pretty good, right at 11, and it's not bouncing all over the place, so that's a good sign. Everything's looking good. My pressures are within range. I'm not scared by anything. Numbers look decent. Evaporator TD is a little bit high, but the expansion valve's moving around, and it's just satisfied. See, it comes down really quick. So, all right, we already satisfied, but while it was running right around 11 degrees evaporator superheat, so we're going to leave it there. Everything looks good, and we're going to call this one done. I thought that it cycled really quick. That's why it went into defrost. So I wonder if you can take it out of manual defrost by holding that down. Yep, good to know. Okay, that made me wonder, because I was wondering why it cycled so fast. But yeah, we're good to go.
One of those things, you know, you always got to look at everything. So it started simple as just condenser fan motors, and I looked past that and said, hey, we needed to clean the equipment too, because it was pretty dirty, and that led to the equipment replacement because the evaporator was rotted out. This particular customer is very proactive with replacing their aging equipment. So we went in with new equipment that the customer did supply themselves. So I am installing customer supplied equipment. I get a lot of questions about that. And it's just, if you want to work for the big restaurant chains, you've got to do that. Okay. So this particular customer does that. And, you know, I mean, I can choose not to do it, but this is what keeps me going during the slow times. And trust me, we are slow right now with all the craziness. So I'm super thankful to be able to have any work at all. You know, because in the restaurant industry here in California, it's dead, absolutely dead. Preventative maintenances are out the window, you know, and it's basically survival mode. So anyways, the replacement itself went pretty decent. That was a trip though, seeing that steel beam, how someone just cut a hole in it to use it as a chase. I believe they were running that up onto the roof to use it as like lighting power for the roof or something. I have no idea, but that blew my mind. Can you imagine that? Like, luckily this is only a 1-story building, but I mean, still, I would imagine that's structural, because the building isn't all steel. The building's you know, stick frame basically. So yeah, that's a trip, huh? To see someone cut a hole in a beam like that. I don't know. I'm not a structural engineer, but Didn't seem right to me. Anyways, you know, so the change out went pretty straightforward. We ran into a few little problems here and there. But, you know, we do quite a few of these. I mentioned in it that, you know, I figured it was going to be a cookie cutter, but you can't let that stuff sneak up on you. So just because I work at a lot of these same restaurants and I do these installs all the time, stuff changes. So you have to be ready for that. Okay. And you have to learn to appreciate the small things, like being able to climb into the attic and have actual space to be able to move around and stuff. You know, that's something very cool. It's the little things that make your day go by easier. Okay. So, went back out, did the, you know, startup on the equipment. Everything was working fine. So there really wasn't too much to be worried about other than some installation problems and the drain line issue. That was another little hiccup that we had to deal with, but you know, we just deal with it. As far as the drains too, to clarify on the drains. So what happens is the new evaporator coil was like 2.5 inches taller, and the old coil, the drain line pretty much ran out of the coil, maybe down 1/2 inch, and then hit the wall and went in. And there wasn't just an easy way to be able to, without taking you guys into the other boxes and showing you where it connected and stuff, it just wasn't going to be capable or possible for us to lower that drain any lower. So luckily we found that floor drain on the outside of the box. So we just had to run the drain in an opposite direction, lowered it down, got a great pitch on it, and it all turned out pretty nice. So, hey, I really, really appreciate you guys making it to the end of this video. As I always say, please, if you haven't already, check out my website, hvacrvideos.com. Got merch available on there, or for the crazy people, merchandise. Sorry, I know everybody. Oh my gosh, you can't believe the amount of YouTube comments that I get saying stop calling it merch. If you're too lazy to say merchandise, I'm not going to support you. Guys, come on, for real? Good grief. I swear some of this stuff. But anyways, check out my website. I got lots of cool merch available if you're interested. If you're not, hey, no big deal. I could care less, okay? It's just cool. I put it out there because people asked for it, and it's really, really cool. But if you're not interested, it's cool. No big deal, okay? You don't have to purchase my merch, okay? Merch. Are you triggered? All right. Remember, live streams Monday evenings, 5 p.m. Pacific on YouTube on my channel, and then Friday evenings about 6:05 p.m. with my buddies on the HVAC Overtime channel. TrueTech Tools offer code for TrueTechTools.com is big picture. You can save 8% on your order. Helps me to, you know, get a little commission off that too, so it helps to support the channel. And that one's it. I really, really appreciate you, and we will catch you on the next one.